Hi and welcome back to my channel. The one thing that I feel that young African children miss out on, and this is again part of colonialism, is the very rich literature that we possess, and the and allegories and stories and proverbs so rich. And what is so sad is that having been spent my years being brainwashed and being taught European literature, made to read time and time again Shakespeare, and to read all the literature that was forced upon us at the expense of our very rich stories and proverbs and poetry that we actually possessed. And I discovered, mainly from reading these old books that were written by the very people that took away our culture. So this book I'm still reading is with prehistoric people, the Akikuyu of British East Africa. Is the very rich stories that we possessed. Lots of them used to convey meaning and to teach young children. And oh my God, where do I start? So there's this bit, and this is what has triggered the thing that I was reading, and they talk about these things like just a matter of fact way, and they move on, because here in this topic they're just talking about flocks and herds of animals, and they're talking about how my tribe, the Agikoyo people, valued animals, and what so it says here, livestock are prized for their milk when alive and for their flesh and hides when dead. They are, however, appreciated not so much as a source of food, but chiefly as being the embodiment of wealth. So then they talk about how to a Gikuyu person that these animals are a sign of their wealth. Like, say somebody may have like bank account in modern day with all their stash of money and whatever, but for the Agikoyo, that was the accumulation of animals. And we kept mainly goats and sheep, and unusually people would have cattle, but that was unusual. Their cattle was the if you like, for very wealthy people, because they give the ratio here. They say the ratio value to goats of goats to cattle is 13:1. So one cow equaled 13 goats. So if you had several cows, that was seen as a huge thing. And then here she introduces something which I have found along the way reading these books, and I've read quite a few of this type of books. And she talks about, she references something, and I love story, I love allegories and poems, and especially Gikoyo. And I actually found out from this research that they used to have something, a poet that used to go from place to place, reading poetry all over the districts of Gikoyo, and this was called Gishade. And that blew my mind. But it's little gems of information that I keep finding, because when we think about native tribes, we don't actually think that they possess any literature or poetry or anything like this, but we actually had poets called Gishade, and these people would go from place to place to place, and they would go to the dance, because they had clearances where dance festivals were held or functions were held, and they would go from place to place and they would read the poetry. But so this is what triggered that memory of what I came across, and they're just giving an example. So to those acquainted with the Akikuyu, perhaps the most realistic touch in the folk tales recorded lies in the answers given by the boy. So this this is what they call their man servant, the boy. The boy, a grown man is the boy to them. Mwambia and the mythical Jege. Jege is, I actually don't know what Jege is, but I know it's an animal because I remember Jagger. I know the name, but I don't know. So guys, if you know what that animal is, please tell me. So there's two animals that I know, but I can't remember what they are. One is Jagger and the other one is Vegere. I cannot think for the love of money what they are, but this is what they said. Mwambia and the mythical Jagger. So the animal whose life he has saved tells him to state what he would like as reward. And I don't know quite the full story or quite the full allegory, but I would imagine, obviously, from that little thing there, that, you know, there's a situation where, because of course, when she was writing this book, everybody knew this, but we have lost it, so I don't know the full story. So Mwambia, from what I get, meets this mythical Jagger, and he saves the animal's life. And the animal says, I'm going to give you a reward. It's like the genie, I guess. I'm going to give you a reward. And what reward would you want it to be? And so Mwambia lists what he would like. So he asks first for goats and then for women. He says these are the things that he wants from this Jagger, which is like a genie. He says he would like goats for reward and then women. And then when his wishes have been generously granted, he is requested to say what next he desires. And his reply is nothing more. That's it. All he wanted was goats and women. That's all he wants. That's his life's desires, was goats and women. It's funny, but I want to know what all these little stories and all the allegories are. So there, if you like my content, follow me, subscribe. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on YouTube, and I'm considering sharing my comedy specials on YouTube. There's only just one, but you can find them on YouTube Movies or Amazon Prime, of all of those. But then I'm also on Instagram, so follow me on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok. Thanks guys, take care for now.